We started Brainchild so we could celebrate the art and ideas of the people in our network. We've always wanted to take this a step further and support entirely new work by artists, and we've finally been able to do that with Arts Council funding. We invited our longtime collaborator Emily Motto to take over the woodlands at the festival, but we quickly realised that her Hieronymus Bosch-inspired ideas were going to be too big for just a one-man team. So we brought in Ed Hanslam and sound and light design duo Jack Dale and Henry Howe, and then recruited a team of 4 students, Annie Elliott, Cara Callender, Damien Hart and Nina Ndwaba, and together they built the first iteration, the Garden Spheres, followed by our London exhibition Nexus Space. And Nexus Space featured performances by Feeling Blue Collective, Bunny Lava and poetry by Little Grape Jelly. It's been really amazing to see that our support has allowed them to grow their own practices in completely new ways and make work that they really wouldn't have made if they hadn't have been working together. Something that we try and do with Brainchild with the art that we make is we're thinking about it beyond it being an artwork. So I'm really interested in how people can really inhabit an artwork and how that can become part of their overall experience of a space.
The painting has a lot of ideas of sexuality and ideas of eating fruits and the kind of ripeness of life, and lots of human figures jauntily parading around a landscape. What we've got here is lots of people engaging with all these weird fruity forms and really reacting to a whole space. You see it trigger across the whole room from your point of view, and then someone else from the other side will trigger it and it will go back the other way. That really puts you physically in the place of the sculpture.
I found working with the limitations of using the same materials as the Garden Spheres pretty inspiring. I like the challenge of giving myself a set of materials and being as creative as possible with what's in front of us. And I think we really proved that given some restrictions you can create something amazing with some quite basic things.
Meditative is probably one of the describing words we were going for. I've heard similar things, meditative and soothing and calm. To be honest, that's exactly what we were trying to achieve. Contemplative, how do you say it?
Yeah, no.
Contemplative. Contemplative, okay. Contemplative.
The process for the lighting design in this piece was actually quite a new experience for me. Me and Emily experimented with running videos of the pods at Brainchild through the lights to get more natural nuances and gradients in the colour palette. Actually, some of the pink colours that you see downstairs are videos that were taken on Emily's phone at Brainchild.
The best anecdote from yesterday morning was first people to come in through the door didn't know any of us, had heard it on time out. And they came in and it was a completely dark room, and Jack, Henry and I were sitting in the corner and they had no idea, and it took them about a minute to realise there were sensors, and then they didn't know where the sensors were, and then suddenly it all came to life, and then they really engaged with the piece, and then it rose and harmonies grew in the space, and we just loved it, and it was really a kind of perfect moment of how the piece should work.
It made my heart kind of swoon a little bit, because I think obviously with such a playful environment, like you want to have kids kind of in that environment, I guess, because of how like Brainchild's advertised for kind of an older audience. Maybe, you know, little kids don't get to see that, but like that was honestly like the best part of like the whole thing.
Working with Ed and Emily is really eye-opening because their process is completely different, especially Emily. She's much more of an improvised artist. What me and Henry do is takes a lot of time to develop ideas and turn them into reality, so we're very much focused on planning months ahead and tweaking and all this kind of thing, whereas Emily's much more, she gets there, she sees the space and she works with it and kind of makes it work there and then. So it's been a really interesting challenge, and I think we've all learnt a lot from it.
Yeah, I heard in the beginning Henry was saying it made him quite nervous, and how I quite like to make decisions in the space and kind of sometimes don't like to plan too far in advance, make decisions kind of quite last minute, and I think I was probably equally as daunted by them in needing quite exact kind of precise measurements so early on. So that was quite a challenge, but I think actually turned out to really complement each other.
So with the students joining us, everyone was a bit nervous, them included, about how we would work as a team. Straight away, everyone's worries were put at ease. It was a kind of really levelled platform for learning.
Working with the mentees at first was a little bit challenging because you really have to learn how to vocalise what you're doing, and something that's never been in a position where I've had to do that before. It's kind of made me better at public speaking and communicating, I'd say.
It doesn't feel like anyone's higher than anyone, no one's better than anyone. People are just here to learn from each other and kind of just like hear each other out and just like kind of play around and see what works and what doesn't work, and like there's no pressure to it. It's just like, this is what I do, this is what I want to do, this is how I'll keep trying to do it, and everyone's really cool about like hearing you out and just wanting to like, I guess, be part of your journey in some kind of way.
I think with this project, the thing I'm most proud of is that we've taken our designs to a new level. We've managed to up the production value of the installations that we're making.